Okay, so very good morning, everybody. After watching the play yesterday, now we are here to discuss the important aspects of the play, and we are going to take help of Martin Eslin's essay, "Search for the Self." Martin Eslin's essay, "The Search for the Self." Martin Eslin, "The Search for the Self." So, with the context of this part of the essay, we'll try to see a few things in this session. Okay? So, first of all, a very quick overview of the characters. The characters like Vladimir, Estragon, and Lucky Pozzo. These four characters, let us try to see their characteristics also. So I would like want you to help me in identifying the contradictory elements that is there in their characters, contradictory elements in their characters. So first of all, let us see Vladimir and Estragon, and how their personality types are having a kind of binary opposition, as if they have a sort of what we call it as a binary opposition or contradictory personalities. Contradictory personality, or in Derridian terms, we can call it as a kind of a binary opposition. Binary opposition in this. Or we can also say that these characters are like yin and yang. Characters are somewhere like what you see it as yin and yang. One part is rather darker, one is fairly white part, the other is the darker part. So yin and yang kind of the reference also one can see in this personality types. So they make for one whole in this, but the characteristics differ from each other. So what are those aspects which we can see that the characteristics differ from each other? Yes. So who will tell me what are the important aspects of that? Yes.
Vladimir is more practical, and Estragon claims to be have been poet.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. First point, if we see that one seems to be more practical, and another seems to be like opposite of practical is idealist. So the word here for that is poet here. But as we know that you can't conclude anything, any generalization as such is not possible, because Beckett is not giving any clarity about these characters. We try to read them, but everywhere when we read thoroughly, we cannot say that everywhere Vladimir is practical and Estragon is idealist. Somewhere when we move on, we find that this character type will be broken also. It will be broken. It will not be sustained throughout the play, or as soon as we will see other characteristics, this very idea about being practical and idealist will also be broken. Because many times we see that something that is idealist is something really good, and something that is practical is not so good. Somehow we have those general presumptions about the character traits. In real life, that never happens. In real life, the life is all about practicality, and all kinds of ideals are normally crashed when they come in contact with lived experience of the life. And that is what happens with these two characters also. So don't generalize and conclude about the totality of the personality by one sentence or by one word here. That is what Beckett is against. Don't want to generalize anything about the very meaning of the play also. Okay, second one. Next one, yes.
Vladimir seems responsible and his memory is also sharp. Again, Estragon is not seems like Vladimir. His memory is also not.
Okay, fine. So we get this that Vladimir has memory and he forgets. He tend to forget the things. He seems to be what we call it as somewhere responsible, responsible, and like he seems to be not so accountable, not so accountable. That he tends to forget, he tends to sleep, he tends to dream. Yeah? Okay, then, yes.
Sir, one is Estragon is beaten often at night, while Vladimir is presented as protector of
Hmm.
him.
Hmm.
So there is a weaker and stronger personality.
Hmm. Okay, so we find that one Vladimir seems to be a protector. So a bit stronger. And here we find that he is beaten. So weaker personality one can see in that. Yeah. Okay, then, yes, those who have not spoken, let us take everybody's turn. Here, yes.
Sir, Vladimir hopes that one day Godot will come and that the situation will change. On the other side, Estragon forgets the name of Godot.
Okay, that's a very important point that Vladimir has a hope, and there is a kind of a hopelessness. Like, what does it matter? Even if the Godot will come, whether it will really change our situation or not, whether it matters whether he comes or not. So it is Estragon who raises the question, is it the right place? Was it today? What day is today? Vladimir said it is Saturday, so he remembers. But Estragon is a skeptic. He is a skeptic about this. So he raises that question also that is today Saturday? Is it not Sunday, Monday, Friday, Saturday, Friday or other day? Or was it Saturday only? So all those skepticism of Estragon we can see here. Vladimir has a hope. And so his conversation with the little boy also has that hope. Estragon goes to sleep when and he starts dreaming when the messenger comes. It is always Vladimir, both the times. It is Vladimir who has a conversation with the boy that also says that he is more hopeful of meeting Godot. Godot will come someday, they will have their own moksha, nirvana, whatever way one can read that. Okay, yes, then anything else? Hmm?
Vladimir remember past events and Estragon tends to forget them.
Hmm. Yes, so he has a memory. Yes, he remembers past events. He remembers this past events, and he forgets the things, and he do not have a memory, a sense of past. We can say no sense of past. Yes, that is what Estragon might be seen as. Okay, okay. Yeah, any other points? Yes, somebody who has not spoken. Yes.
Sir, every previously, Estragon is in himself and most of the time sleeping, but Vladimir has compared emotion and asked Pozzo to free Lucky, and most of the time we connect and question to boy, not Vladimir. Sorry, Estragon.
Yeah, he connects to, repeat again. Yeah.
He asked questions to boy while Estragon was sleeping.
Yes, yeah.
So
Okay.
he is in himself
Hmm.
most of the time, and he seems to be somewhere emotional and social.
Who he
That
Vladimir seems to be emotional because he is asking questions or he cares for Lucky. Yes, he cares for Lucky. And he was worried about Lucky's predicament. Uh, Estragon on the other side was more worried for what we call it as uh, food. Yeah, he was like worried for the predicament of Lucky, whereas he was looking at the food which Pozzo was eating, or always asking for carrot or turnips and the bone also. So that way also we can see that Vladimir seems to be worried about the predicament of Lucky. Predicament of Lucky. So he is thinking about human predicament, whereas the other has just an appetite to be satisfied, appetite, book, to be satisfied. That is of Estragon. Okay, so this way we can see these two characters. One has a stinking feet, another has a stinking breath. These are all those things also. The element of stinking, a stinking also one can add here. So this both has different kinds of thing. One has a stinking body, feet. The another has a breath that is stinking. Then a very important symbol that is connected with both of them is that this deals with head, and he with boots. These are the symbols connected with both the characters, and that way also we can see that Beckett has put a kind of a binary opposition in this, and we have seen that hat represents intellectual activity, thinking, and boot represents a bodily life, a material life. So even if we see spirituality and materiality, mind and body kind of relation, then also one tends to have moving towards spiritual, theological, philosophical thinking aspect of life. The another material aspect of life, hunger for life, satisfying the basic needs for the life. That is where the boots represent also. Okay, so that is one part of these two characters that we have seen here. Now, let us see about Lucky and Pozzo, the another pair of characters there. Okay? Yes.
the in our symbol was something different. That it was having two round, two dots, that one was darker and one was white. And each the darker side has something light or glowing, glowing side, and the darker and light is has such kind of darker side. That two dots there. In darker, the lighting white dot was there, and in white there was one darker.
White dot also. So yeah, we can say that in white there is the darkness, and in darkness there is the possibility of white also. Where if you want to further the comparison with that, in case if you want to extend the metaphor of yin and yang in case of Vladimir and Estragon, then we always find that none of those characters are like completely white and black. They have their own limitations. So even the white has its own limitation. Even the black has its own positive side also. So not possible to generalize in terms of black and white. Normally we find that there are lots of gray shades in between black and white. So seeing things in black and white again is not possible in real world also, and that is what is not possible in terms of these two characters also, that this is good or bad, because white may stand for something good and black may stand for something bad. And both these characters, there is nothing like what is good and what is bad. In that sense of morality or ethics, both of them are bad. They are tramps. They both are, in a way, tramps. So, in that way, we can say that this characters are not like a good character. They are basically tramps. So, those societal, cultural, religious, good or bad, would put both of them on the periphery of society. The centrality is occupied by somebody who is good, somebody who is virtuous. But in that definition of society, culture, religion, they are on the margins. They are on the periphery. So these are, in that way, both of them are black. Within that, we see complementary nature. One important aspect of looking at this complementary nature is to see that these are personality types, and the best friends are those who has got complementary personality. It is not those who are similar. The similar people can rarely be good friends. Sometimes we think that lots of things are matching, so we are friends. It is not so. There is always an alter ego. There is always a kind of a gap inside us that somebody fills, and so the friendship or that bondage is much stronger. Then they can't live without each other. Whenever they are alone, they feel some missing part in their life also. So they want to meet. Because they are contradictory, they will fight with each other. But even after fighting, they constantly keep on remembering each other. They can't survive without each other. Maybe not physically together, but in mental presence is always there with that. So those are the best bondages where there are complementary natures, where there are contradictory natures, and they support each other in that way. That is what personality types, according to psychology, also would support that. So it is not about good or bad, but it is about complementary in opposing manner. That the opposite attracts. There is that law of magnet also. That the opposite attracts, but it doesn't allow you to stay together. It attracts, but doesn't allow you to stay. That is the bondage between Vladimir and Estragon also. Okay, so then next we will see is about Pozzo and Lucky. Okay, so in this, what kind of binary opposition we can perceive? Yes, yes, last one.
The relationship is on a more primitive level. Godot is a sadistic master and the king is the submissive slave.
Okay, fine. So first point is that their relation as compared to uh, Vladimir and Estragon is at more primitive level. Yes, that is one point. So, why primitive level? Because when you do religious reading of this play or theological reading, we find that at least those who have reached at that point, that you have to wait, you have to wait for divine or divinity. That also is considered as a much advanced form of life. That at least you have reached there, that now you know that you have to wait for somebody. The somebody in that theological discourse is always divine. It can be avatar or son of God or messenger, whatever, but you know that you have to wait. Now, these two characters are on the journey. They still don't know that you have to stand somewhere and wait for something. They are still on the journey. So, after getting tired of all these journeys, they will also find their tree. They will also find their rock, where they will stand on the rock or sit on the rock and do meditation, or sit under a tree and do some kind of meditation, and some revelation they are waiting to happen. So Vladimir Estragon has reached at that advanced level where you have to now find a rock or a tree, and you have to just be stand still, do meditation, wait for the revelation to happen. That is dawning of knowledge, revelation, or one can say dawning of knowledge. Yes, dawning, parod, DAWN, dawning of knowledge. So you just have to wait that when the sun of knowledge rises on you, and ultimate knowledge, even according to Bible, there is tree of knowledge. When you eat the fruit of tree of knowledge, what you get, what is right, what is wrong. That is the ultimate knowledge, that what is right and what is wrong. So according to the story of Genesis, God is the one who knows it, what is right and what is wrong. The humans do not have that capacity. So that attempt of Eve to test the fruit was to be knowledgeable. That is how serpent is tempting, as Milton is imagining. That is Milton's Eve, not the biblical one, but John Milton's Eve and Adam. That what Eve imagines, that, or how the serpent tempts by saying that if I have tested the fruit of the tree of knowledge, and I have got this speech like humans, which animals are devoid of, and I also got a logic to argue with you. It is not only to speak, but I am able to argue with you also. With humans, I am arguing. So this capacity that I have lifted myself from being an animal to human. You are humans. If you will do this, you will lift at another level, and that is, you will become godlike. That is the temptation that is there. So ultimate knowledge is about this. But there are phases of that. One is going on journey, and then another is waiting. We can also apply this idea of Bhagavad Gita also, where there is karma also and bhakti also. There are different marg through which people do their journey. So there is a marg of karma, there is a marg of gnan, and then there is a marg of bhakti also. This reaching at this level for waiting is the marg of bhakti. It is a marg. So you are now tired of all your karmas. Lucky and Pozzo are still doing their karma. Now you enter, like we can say that Vladimir is at a level of Gnan marg. So he's questioning, he's remembering past, and he's connecting the dots to understand the thing. And then from Gnan marg, perhaps what comes is Bhakti marg, where you have to just wait and watch. God serves even those who just wait and watch. I think Milton has written a poem where he writes this, that God serves even those only who just wait and watch. That is the waiting. Yeah. So that way, Lucky and Pozzo are, in that sense, in that theological sense, are at a primitive level, and Vladimir Estragon are at an advanced level, that they have moved from karma marg towards what we call it as Gnan marg or Bhakti marg. So that, and what was another point you said with this? Is a sadistic master. Uh, Sadistic yes, sadistic master, and on the other side we have submissive slave. So the relation of master and slave is also found in both. Very clearly, master-slave relation is there. and which is very nauseatic also. The relation is very nauseatic because when what is that? Will that point also will come? Yeah. Who will read the next part? Anybody who has not spoken yet, you can. Okay. Otherwise, anybody? Yes. Hmm.
So Lucky is presented as mind, whereas Pozzo is presented as body.
Hmm.
So body is having materialistic values, while mind is having spiritual things.
Hmm. Okay, so we have this point here also very clearly about body, materialistic nature, okay, and here we have mind, or whether it is spiritual or not, that is still a question, but still, spiritual aspect can also be seen. So there is a kind of a body and mind relation. This and a very conspicuous relation between body and mind. Who is more powerful? Those all debates also are initiated in this body mind thing. So many people would either it is theology or philosophy. Either of the way people do think about body mind dichotomy. Many people say that body is very much required. Only mind cannot do anything. So even if I have great many ideas, but if my body cannot move, then how can I fulfill those ideas? Mind can only think. How can the body without body? How can one do that? People say that well, mind is very important. Like Stephen Hawking's example, people give that he has no body at all. He's living in lived in a wheelchair till his last day. But his mind was very powerful, so he did great many things in scientific exploration with only mind, without body also. So those are the cases of the power of the mind. There. Buddhist philosophy would consider the importance of body also very much. Body. So we have to live this, or we have to pass this journey with this body. Whether we are spiritual and we have a body, or we are a body and we have a soul, are we a spirit, soul, and we have a body, or we are a body and we have a soul? We don't know. But this is the debate. Some say that well, we are soul and we have a body. So we have to care of soul, not for the body. We get another body. But soul is something that we have to nourish because that is what we are, not the body. Some would say that body is very important and this soul is fine. So far as there is a body, then only we can realize the aspect of spirit or soul. If there is no body, we don't know whether the soul can survive anywhere or not. Without this body, what the soul will do, where will it go? Now, again, we enter into the realm of mysticism, where nobody can say with certainty that what would happen to the soul without body. We enter into a very difficult realm, which empirically cannot be concluded also. Yes?
So in this
You
context,
can change this.
can we say that if both characters are presented as mind and body,
Hmm.
so can we say that what those as they have no goal in their life where they are going, so the body is doing mind where there is nothing to be done.
Hmm. Yes, who is driving whom? You can see that also. Like who is driven by. So many times we are driven by bodily pleasure, and the psychologist or Freudian psychology will always say that we are the selfish beings who are always driven to please us. And in that pleasure, it is all kinds of hunger. So we will do anything for our food. When we are thirsty, will break all moral codes and conduct. When people are hungry, they will not remember what are the ethics. They will start stealing. They will start stealing, as we will see in Charlie Chaplin's film also. Why people steal? Because so that is where the humans will think of ethics so far as they have roti, kapda, and makan, or Maslow's those basic needs are satisfied. Then comes ethical way of living a life. If you are devoid of the basic necessities, it will be very difficult We don't say that they cannot follow ethical life, but very difficult, challenging life to sustain ethics if people have a problem with the basic necessities also. So body will keep on driving. More youthful years, all kinds of pleasures, including sexual pleasures, will be driving the human behavior. As people enter into old ages, then perhaps they may have or more idea about soul or mind rather than body, because then body is not that much demanding as younger body is in terms of all kinds of hungers. The younger body is more demanding than the older body. So with an old age, there is much of a quest for nourishing mind, spirituality, rather than the younger days also. Yes, you want to say? Yes.
Pozzo was a master, but he was given by Lucky's eyes. So here we can see he was dependent on Lucky, and Lucky was the eye. So now Lucky's body and Pozzo is the mind, and Lucky was in a further. Lucky was man, but he was mechanically worked.
Hmm. Yes. So yeah, as we have seen earlier, that you cannot continue any metaphor to a longer thing, because if lucky is the mind, then why mind is not freeing itself? Because mind cannot sustain, or soul cannot sustain without body. It is tied with the body. So that tied, the word keeps on repeating that they are tied. So like some say we are tied with Godot. Vladimir and Estragon say we are tied with this. And here both of them are tied with each other. They are tied. So again, you can say mind is more powerful and one can get free, but no, mind cannot get free of body, because mind cannot sustain without the body. Or soul also will find a problem of sustenance without the body. So that is so even when the person was blind, still lucky remains with him, and he is tied with those kinds of things also. But that is the debate of mind and body. The same characters are also seen as slave and master also. And here we can see that there is a different kind of a satire which also Beckett might be throwing or might be looking at, which is in context of other existentialists also. Nietzsche, for example, who thinks of master morality and slave morality. So the slavish morality is more troubling than master morality. Uh, the here Pozzo is not reflecting anywhere a good example of master morality. He is a master, but he is a sadistic master. He is not, he cannot be considered as Nietzsche's Ubermensch or superhuman. He cannot be considered because he is like devoid of moral code of dealing with other people. So we can't equate. But slavish morality is something very significant. That how people might slavishly follow whatever is told to them or written in their holy books or any other thing, and they would consider an invisible person as a master and keep on doing all the rituals around that invisible master. So how they are tied with the invisible master. So the invisibility of the master is its blindness. That is the blindness. And yet how slavishly Lucky gets connected, carrying all the baggages. So, as during while watching the film, also we made this point that this all baggages are the ritualistic baggages of religions or traditions of culture or societal baggages, which even though they are very heavy and meaningless, because there is nothing but sand only. What is inside the bag? Sand. It's not like there are something gems inside there, pearls or gems or jewelry. No, no jewelry, nothing. It is mere sand only. So that is Beckett as an atheist also might be satirizing to the way people slavishly follow traditions, societal mores, cultural conditioning, or religious programming of the humans also. Okay, any other point? Yes.
That Pozzo seems arrogant and Lucky is more docile and meek. And the other is the fake fears of Pozzo is important while And here by pain of our lucky is not for us, even though they both hearts and living.
Hmm. Okay, so one seems to be because he's sadistic master, so he is quite arrogant also. He seems to be like arrogant in the initial part of the thing. And on the other side, what you say, lucky,
Docile and weak kind of.
meek and docile. Okay? Yeah, meek character there. And his tears are like fake tears. Fake tears which he would cry just to seek the attention of the other people. What is this crying? It is crying to seek the attention of the other people. So he would just cry and then see are people looking at me or not. So he will just turn the face and will see whether the other people are looking at me. So that is the habit of attention seeking, this crying of masters, crying of the masters is normally seen as uh, attention seeking or putting oneself into pitiable situation. Though you are master, the other person is more in a pitiable situation than you are, but still you locate yourself in a more pitiable than the one who are in pitiable situation because of you. That's how the masters behave. It's a very interesting personality type that one can see in many of the dictators also. In the great dictator also, Charlie Chaplin had brought that how these people would have fake crying in their speeches and other things. How would Hinkle would have the fake crying, or how would they show that timid face to the people? Why? Only because they want to seek attention of the people or want to get the compassion of the people. And so they do a kind of a drama or dramabaji or nautanki kind of a thing. And Pozzo also is a master of those things also about doing it. So that way one can see that. Yeah. Any other point? Yeah. Yes. Hmm.
Sir, in second act, Pozzo
Hmm.
goes blind and Lucky goes dumb. So
Hmm.
can we say that in first they are moving towards the thing which they don't know without any kind of aim. So at the end, if we are walking or going without a kind of aim, our mind certainly try to stop thinking or having a kind of uh, thought process.
In which context you said?
In first act,
Hmm.
both are Pozzo is driving lucky,
Hmm.
means body is driving mind.
Hmm.
So without any aim.
Hmm.
And in second act, Pozzo goes blind
Hmm.
and Lucky goes dumb.
Hmm.
So can we say that if we are not having any kind of aim in our life, our mind will certainly stop thinking.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, yeah, you can put that also. Like if there is an aimless journey, then perhaps one can lead into the aimlessness of the life. You never reach anywhere as such, and all your attempts can go in vain. That also can be read in that. There is this point which is there that Pozzo is rich, powerful, and he is very certain about himself. He is very certain about himself. Pozzo is like very certain about himself. He is rich, he is powerful, he is very powerful and very much certain about himself. He represents a worldly man in all his facile and short-sighted optimism. Optimism, but very short-sighted optimism that comes. In both the acts, there are very interesting lines given to Pozzo. Quite universally appealing lines are given to Pozzo. But they all seem to be very short-sighted optimism about the thing that he thinks of. Illusory feeling of power and permanence. That all is certainty in everything is very illusory. illusory power of permanence. Feeling of power, or that is very much illusory. Now, that is where we can connect the general characteristics of the age, which we discussed in this context, that Victorians were having this way of looking at permanence, like their home, as we have seen earlier, that how they try to look at the permanence of the thing, permanence of their home, their constitution, yes, their religion, and their power over the entire world, and their power over the entire world. The colonial Britain during that time, they thought that this is well established order by divinity. We have fulfilled the dream of divinity, and this is how everything is going to remain permanent. We are the most civilized, and we have to civilize the remaining people. Now, it is in that way Pozzo also comes as this, but this is all fake optimism. It is illusory thing. And so, First World War, Second World War, and after that, all those colonial masters narrowed down back into their islands, went back, and they have to liberate the entire world. So, post-colonial, after Second World War, when this is written, the process had already been begun. India was already a free country, a free colony from 1947. So that also one can see that Pozzo's this permanence was very illusory, which gets connected with what we see as a general characteristic of from Victorian to the modernity that we find here also. And Lucky not only carries his heavy luggage, and even the whip with which Pozzo beats him, he also dances and thinks also. So he's the one who is entertained by dancing, by thinking, and that all. So that is this connection. He will carry the luggage and even the whip also, with which he is constantly beaten. With which he is also constantly beaten also. Okay? So that is this pair of characters. Second pair, complementary, contradictory to each other that we can see here. Yes.
This character's relationship is more like politics and Marxism or capitalism.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Capitalism and politicians of today's time influence with these both characters.
Yes. We will like we'll have in the online test and your thinking activity question also you'll have this question about the political connection of all these characters with the given situation. So how an Irish dramatist tries to portray all these characters and how he gives the situation of the things also that can be read in this also. Even the Nazis and how everybody like subdued to Hitler, the Nazis and other thing, and even the other people, they were like lucky and they supported a sadistic master in terms of Hitler. That are all political reading also. That also is possible in this. Vladimir is a Russian name. Estragon, Lucky is an English name. Pozzo is an Italian name. So that all also will say that how these European countries are coming, and the meekness of English against Hitler also gets connected in the same way also. So that politics of the Second World War also gets connected in this. You'll see that in online test and some of the questions also. Okay, so that is the second aspect here. Now, the third one, the third point that we want to see today is about the third point which we want to see in waiting for Godot is about, and in this conventional play versus absurd play, or let us call absurd theater. Absurd theater. So how this we can differentiate, and that's how we come to the characteristics of absurd theater also. What are the characteristics? In contrast, in differentiation. So the best way to define anything is to differentiate it. The best way to define anything is to differentiate. So once we differentiate, then the definition becomes very clear also. So let us see this. Is it getting recorded? Sound is also getting okay. Yes. So who will tell me first the difference here?
Sir, a good play must have a cleverly construction story, and the abstract theater, we can say the story or a plot. There is no kind of story and plot.
Okay, so first point that we get here is uh, a good play, or rather say conventional play, as a cleverly constructed story. Cleverly constructed a story. When we come here, what we get is that no story, no plot. Plot was considered in this conventional play as the soul of drama, or according to Aristotle, it was the soul of the tragedy, specifically for tragedy, generally for the drama. Okay, so that is the first difference. Okay, second one.
In conventional play, the characters are made by characterization and motivation. In absurd, they are made and they are merely recognizable or almost like puppets.
Okay, okay, fine. So, secondly, what we see is that uh, a good play, that is conventional play, are judged by, they are judged by subtlety of subtle characterization and their motivations. Yes, and their motivations that are there. Okay. Whereas here, what is that word?
Mostly unrecognizable and they are mostly mechanical puppets.
Mechanical puppets. Whose motivation is also not clear. Why are they doing what are they doing is also not very clear. Like they themselves are in the doubt. If here there is one important thing that they are supposed to do, and that is wait. That is the only action, only important action that they are there to do. What they have to do? Wait. There is no other work that they have. But what is the motivation behind waiting? Is just wait for somebody named Mr. Godot. But whether that person will come, whether they will recognize that person, was it the day that they are supposed to wait? Was it the same place where they are supposed to wait? They don't know anything about it. They are not clear about it. So that is how they become a kind of a mechanical puppet. But their motivations, the subtlety of the characterization, who were they, why they became what they became, Good work of art, many times people say novel. What is novel? Though these are play. But novel is nothing but the way characters grow. It is just the story of the growth of the character. So if characters don't grow, then people doubt whether can we consider this as a good novel or not. Even in the drama, how the characters perform, what actions they do, what are the motivations behind that. There should be cause and effect. There should be logic, law of probability, law of possibility, as Aristotle has given the dictums for the conventional drama or traditional classical drama. So that is the second point. Okay, yes, next. Yeah, yes. Okay, then.
Sir, conventional play has realistic characters and executor has symbolic or real characters.
Okay, so we have here more of in the characters if we see, first of all, then we come to theme. They are more realistic also. Yes, true to life, true to life. This, and here we may have a kind of an abstraction. Characters are drawn from some kind of abstractions, which can have a kind of an impression about somebody, impression or an expression of something, or dadaistic, surrealistic way of putting the character. Okay? So there is this more realistic, we are more into abstractions. Okay. Then theme, yes. What was that point of theme?
A good play have a fully explained theme. It is briefly exposed and finally shown, but in texture, they are neither a beginning nor an end.
Okay, so thematically, here we can find that they have theme where things are very clear. One can say that well, this is the central theme of this play. Whereas here, it is also very difficult to find whether they have a proper beginning, middle, or an end also or not. These are also question. Forget about the theme, but they don't have even proper beginning, exposition where the theme is revealed and then theme reaches to climax and then there is some resolution of the theme. The rising action, the climax, and then resolution, where we get the complete circle of the theme. So when you don't have a proper beginning, a middle, or an end, or rather we can say we are somewhere only in the middle. We don't know whether this wait will end or not. When it begins, that also we don't know. They keep on telling yesterday, yesterday, but we don't know. Even they are not sure whether it was yesterday only or not. They are also in doubt whether yesterday we were waiting for these people or not. So the beginning we don't know. Whether this wait will end ever, in what manner, that also we don't know. With the Godot will come and meet these two characters, or will love both of them, will embrace both these characters, will embrace one and beat another one. Who will be embraced? Who will be beaten? We don't know. We have absolutely no idea about that what might happen. There are 50% chances of everything to happen. There are 50% chances of one thief to be saved out of two. But there are other people who have not mentioned that there was two thieves also. Then there is no chance of anybody's being saved. Perhaps both are damned in a given situation. That way, we are somewhere in the middle. We don't know what may be the end of this story. Okay, then, yes.
The conventional play have logical dialogue and object images are sometimes repetitive and illogical dialogue.
Okay, the dialogues, when we see, before dialogue also there is one point that we need to see, okay, but let us see this dialogues. Okay. What is that in the conventional play?
It has a logical dialogue. It has some possible.
Hmm. It has logic in the dialogue. There is wheat. There is a very interesting repartee there, things. Whereas here it is what we have here, incoherent. It is known as incoherent babblings. Pick up these words when you write. Pick up these words, incoherent babblings. That so they keep on talking about something which at the end of that conversation is meaningless. Like they themselves break that why are we doing this? We just want to kill the time. We just want to pass the time. So at the end of something, they would fight with each other. They will stop talking with each other. And then what will they say? Well, it killed our time. It was good that it killed the time. And when the another person is not replying to the conversation, the another one will say that please throw the ball, please return the ball. I have thrown the ball in your court. That is the semantic field of lawn tennis. In lawn tennis, you throw a ball in another person's court and the another person has to return. There are lots of, so many times the word tennis is used in Lucky's speech. There are lots of reference to so many sporting events, but tennis is maximum repeated. So you are just throwing the question from one court to another court. Now it is the turn of the other to throw back, and that is how you keep on playing the game of verbal repartee, which is nothing but incoherent babblings. Repartee, but nothing but incoherent babblings there. Okay. And then there is one more point. Yes. Yes, so it mirrors the manners and mannerisms of the age, that is what comes here. Manners and mannerisms of the age that comes here. Whereas this is nothing but, we can say, reflection of dreams and also hallucination, nightmares. Dreams and nightmares, that is there. Okay, so very quickly to sum up this point, we can see that how we have seen this point here in different form. First one, plot is at the center. So what do we do with the plot? In one, there is a cleverly constructed one. Here, no plot at all. So if traditionally we see that plot was considered as the soul, then these plays are without soul. These plays are as such conventionally without soul also. Second point about characterization. Second one is about the characterization. And here, subtle characterization, their motivations are very important. Whenever we do character study, the very important point is that what are the motives that are driving the characters? Why are the characters doing what they are doing? In anything that is not absurd theater, we will find clear-cut answers. When we study another novel, we can apply this in novel also, though they are specifically for drama and play. And we see that why is Jay Gatsby doing what he is doing? Why is he giving lavish parties? It's a secret up till middle of the novel. And people are surprised and they are curious to know. And then suddenly Jordan comes to know and she is happy and tells to Nick Carey, our narrator, that we are meeting for a tea in the evening and I will tell you, I knew why he is doing everything. So as a reader or audience, we are also curious to know that why this young fellow, a young rich person in New York is giving such huge parties. And then the motivations are clear. This is all for Daisy Buchanan. That is very clear motivations are there. Here it is not there. So that is how we study. Characters are always judged by their motivations. Third point we can see here is thematic one, thematic study. So we have a proper theme. We can come to know about central theme also there. And here we don't have the thematic exposition or the middle. Middle we have, but it is not at all connected with the ending. Fourth one, we see this one as the fourth one. It mirrors manners and mannerisms of the age. So the entire age is mirrored in that work of art. That's how the traditional concept of what is literature is a mirror to society, mirror to the manners and mannerisms of people. People's nature is captured by the society. That is about a specific age that we read that in this time there were this kind of people. In that time, people were doing this kind of thing that we can capture from that. Whereas here it is more like nightmares, some dreams, some nightmare, some hallucinations, rather than a real picture of the thing. And finally, language of the play. Final point is dialogues, diction, the choice of the words, and that. So drama is all about dialogues, how the dialogues are written. Instead of having a repartee where dialogue leads to some kind of conclusion at the end of the play, here normally we have everything that is incoherent, babbling. We come to know that even if they might have not spoken all this thing, what does it matter? Whether they would have just come and stood silently beneath the tree, then also it might have conveyed the same meaning. There is absolutely no need of speaking all this thing. And that's how in this play we have lots of silences and pauses. Pause, silence in the abstract theatre become very, very important because whether there is a word or no word, it doesn't make any difference. The word is only disturbing the silence. It doesn't mean anything. The dialogues are just coming there to disturb the silence. When we see the absurd dramatist like Harold Pinter, in that play, lots of dialogue becomes second type of silence. In that, there are two types of silences. One when nobody is speaking. The another when there are lots of everybody speaking. And they speak in such a manner that you listen nothing from them. So that is another sign, the torrent of questions. So how Matt Goldberg and McKen, they empower Sandy with torrent of questions. He cannot give any answer. Even before he gives any answer, question after question are thrown on him. And ultimately he just screams. He just screams. He has no answer. So that screaming is that torrent of language is another kind of a silence also. So that is this makes the point clear. What is conventional drama and what is absurd theatre? In this manner, we can see that response are coming from the conventional way. How Aristotle said there are six parts in a tragedy. There are six parts in a tragedy from where this archives. The sixth one, that is spectacle, is only not taken here because it remains similar. What we see, what we visualize is that this all parts are in parallel with the poetics from where it comes. Okay, so we end this discussion today here. The next class we will talk about the other topic, that is meaning of the play. What is the meaning of the play? And how the title leads us to two way of looking at the meaning of the play. That we will see in our next class. Yeah, you can stop.